Your avoidant ex has no idea how much pain you're in right now, and they have no idea how much pain they caused you. They can see that you are in pain. It seems obvious on the surface. They see it, but they don't feel it because your pain is forcing them to confront the pain that they don't want to feel. And so they don't feel it. They see it. And they desperately want to avoid feeling it. And so do you, by the way. You have this immense pain that you're feeling, and you want to avoid feeling that, and just which is the cure for this, is really just facing and feeling everything and going into the depths of your own emotions and not needing them to make your emotions go away and not needing them to make your pain go away. But since you might be anxiously attached or maybe even fearful avoidant, leaning on the anxious side of it, you need them to understand your pain. You need them to make your pain go away. And that would require that they understand your pain, that they go into their own depths of their pain, which they have no idea that they have this giant monster of emotions under the surface that they need to feel, that's been there. And I'm going to make another video on this, but I call it the avoidant emotional snowball. Every breakup they have, there's pain that they avoid because they move on to another person quickly. They distract themselves. They start smoking a lot of weed. They get on antidepressants like I used to do. And so they don't feel the breakup. Oftentimes it's like, wow, they just moved on so quickly. How did they do that? How did in 2 or 3 days they're already on a dating site and it's like it never mattered, right? It's because they do not feel the emotions, and they don't even realize that they have this giant emotional snowball that grows with each breakup. Every breakup that they don't process the grief for increases the size of that snowball. That snowball just keeps growing and growing and growing and that happened to me. So they have no idea how much pain you're in. They move on. They distract themselves. They work hard, whatever they do, whatever their deactivation strategy is. And in my early 30s, I was highly avoidant. By the way, I'm 43 now, so in my early 30s, I was highly avoidant. And for many years, I had been on antidepressants, and I thought I had these huge emotions that I just needed to feel. And I didn't realize that that's what it was. I didn't know that there was just these big emotions under the surface that I needed to confront. So I'd be dating somebody, and we're feeling something for each other. It might be a long distance relationship, so I felt safe having like a long distance relationship. One of them said, "Hey, I'm thinking about moving to your town so we can go a little deeper with this relationship." And then I just shut off. My emotions would just shut off. And I had no idea that on their end how painful it was. I can hear her crying. I can hear, the things she was saying, but I was able to move on quickly. And I know this sucks because now I'm on the other side of this where I actually feel everything. And when the avoidant eventually karma catches up to them, right? There's a karmic debt that from every time, and their avoidants aren't bad. I was never bad. I was a beautiful person underneath, a big heart. And sometimes that's the problem. Our hearts are so big that we feel so intensely that we avoid it like the plague. So every avoidant will eventually get discarded, and they will eventually have to feel the pain of what they cause others. And that has been my journey for so many years. I was hurting a lot of people and I had no idea. You can, even on the surface, it even seemed a little narcissistic, right? I'd be dating somebody, we'd be physically intimate, and they start to express interest. I'm like, oh, whoa, like, no, like, and I would kind of keep them on the hook without even knowing it. I would still, they'd still be wanting me in a way, and I didn't realize how strong their feelings were and how much pain they were in. So I keep them on the hook, not even realizing the pain that they were in. And looking back, I'm like, wow, that was a little bit narcissistic. Caused them a lot of pain, and they were in a lot of pain. So your avoidant ex does not know how much pain you're in. They can see it, but they can't feel it. Doesn't make them bad, doesn't make them wrong. It just means that they're not ready to face their emotions. And if they're keeping you kind of on the hook, if they're kind of like still looking, they might even be in another relationship and they're looking at your Instagram stories, they're liking your posts, and they don't realize that this is hurting you. They don't realize that, and nowadays with the Instagram with friends feed, they can like all these romantic posts about their new partner and how in love they are, and you end up seeing them whether you like it or not. If you're scrolling on Instagram, you end up seeing these things. They don't realize how much pain this is causing you because they just avoided their pain. They're not even connected to these emotions. They're not connected to their pain like you are. You feel the pain even more than like a securely attached person. You might be anxiously attached. A securely attached person feels the emotions, but it doesn't overwhelm their nervous system where they need their avoidant ex back in order to make the pain go away. So your avoidant ex, again, doesn't know how much pain you're in. They don't know that they completely bypass the grieving process. There's no way being in a relationship with someone for any length of time, 3 months, 6 months, a year, longer than that, communicating every single day, all day, every day. There's no way that them moving into another relationship or even just burying themselves in work or even smoking weed or whatever it is, there's no way that there's no grief. There's no freaking way, right? There's just a big mountain of grief, but we have to also have empathy for them. Just like we want them to have empathy for us and for our feelings, we have to have empathy for them because they have a huge monster of emotions underneath the surface. Many of them have breakup after breakup after breakup after breakup of unprocessed grief that is this giant mountain of emotions. They may even have death in the family that they didn't process. And losing you feels like losing their loved one that they never fully processed. So we have to have empathy for them as well. And I know how much it hurts because now I'm on the other side of this. I used to be highly, highly avoidant. I really dedicated myself for many years to learn how to face and feel my emotions and how to feel everything. And it's almost like I feel so much now, and it makes sense why I was shut off. I was shut off in the past because of my huge sensitive heart, and now I feel everything. So I almost flip-flop to the other extreme where it's now if I feel discarded, now it's like this mountain of emotions that is right there on the surface and I can't avoid it anymore, so it forces me to face and feel it. And I just, and not too long ago I actually had a breakup where I felt discarded. And I'm telling you, it's karma has its way of showing you what you're not seeing. And when I say karma, I don't say like this person's bad and they deserve their karma. It's like just whatever you put out is what you get back. Like I said in the past, when I did certain things and was unaware of how I made other people feel, it wasn't because I was bad. I just didn't know, and I wasn't raised in a family that even acknowledged emotions, that talked about emotions, none of that. So it didn't make me bad, but I was causing people pain without knowing it. And I had this huge emotional snowball that I ended up having to face. But then, there came a time where I met someone that I really, really liked. And from what, we got into like a little argument, and she really just discarded me. She like 2 days later, she was on a dating site, she found a new guy, and boom, like I never existed. And it showed me, I knew what was happening. I knew that I quickly learned, I was like, wow, I'm being shown what I did to others in the past. And I can have empathy for her because I was like, wow, she's exactly how I was in my early 30s. And I know the journey that she has to go on. So I didn't make her wrong. I didn't make her bad. There were times where I was angry. I'm not going to lie. We have to feel what comes up. There's going to be moments of anger, moments of sadness, moments of grief, moments of just extreme pain. But they have no idea. And we want them to see us, just like we wanted our parents to see us probably as children. And we're like, I really want you to see me and like acknowledge the pain. But they're not ready to feel it, and we cannot force someone to feel what they're not ready to feel. So the bottom line is, your ex has no idea how much pain you're in. They have no idea. They are not in touch with their emotions. They don't know. They don't know. It's like, can you hear everything that a dog can hear? No, you can't. They can hear certain frequencies that we cannot hear. But if we do the work, if the avoidant were to do the work, they'll start to be able to hear the frequencies that they're not able to hear. They'll be able to feel the emotions that were always there. They just couldn't feel it before. Now they have a different sense. It's like wearing a headphone that allows you to feel emotions, or wearing like a device that helps you to feel the emotions. And so they just don't know how you feel.